Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 444.
444.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. I saw Becky, the owner, was on her way home after 6 weeks of traveling, including 3 Disney Wish cruises. They really spend a ton of time researching trips, and if you book with them, they can help you. And especially, like, the Disney Wish is such a new ship, and there's so much to know about it.
Yeah, it was very helpful for us. We booked through them, and I actually
did.
had some questions that were resolved because of MEI. So it worked out very nicely.
Definitely check them out. And so now we are heading to, not yet to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. That's in
This
3 days.
Friday,
Yes.
very soon.
But we're stopping at the Ticket and Transportation Center. We were heading to the Magic Kingdom because pumpkins are now out. It is the
fall.
Halloween
It
season.
is harvest. The frost on the pumpkin. The leaves are falling. You're crunching through those leaves on your way to the Magic Kingdom. Look at this.
I have heard you
fall.
say frost on the pumpkin way more than I need to in August.
It's so needed at this
Yes.
time of year.
But anyway, the pumpkins are out on Main Street. Most of the pumpkins that are normally out. There's a handful that are not.
There's the most popular pumpkin of all right there.
That's my favorite pumpkin, the restroom pumpkin.
It actually serves a real purpose.
Yes.
Because as we pan back, you can follow that sign and find your way there if you need to.
And to the right, you have over the firehouse, not just the restroom pumpkin, but there's pumpkins that are themed to the firehouse. A lot of pumpkins don't have are not themed, but quite a few are as well.
Well, this is great. You have a Dalmatian there, the Dalmatian pumpkin, the
fire hydrant,
fire, of course. And what was very interesting, we noticed they've made some changes inside the fire station with some Dalmatian pups, and you can see them in the distance. We're going to get a closer look now.
And I'm not sure if there's a reason they put them here, like if there's going to be a game, but probably not. It's probably just something fun for, like, especially for kids. You have this one Dalmatian who's looking up at some treats longingly.
Very adorable.
Too bad we couldn't, shake him down for him, right? But he reminds me of the one at All Star Movies, actually, like that. From the 101 Dalmatians.
Well, they need 99 more of these pups here to get the full 101. So you better start filling up the fire station. But yeah,
some canine crunchies in there, right?
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. And we're going to take a look at the other one. The other one is having a little nap, it seems, though. And he's over here. And while we're in here, it's always nice to come and look in the fire station. Look at how nicely, themed. It's really very realistic.
Is it? Because I don't think I've ever been to a fire station.
I have been to a fire
or
station,
a firehouse.
an old school
Maybe
fire
when I was
station.
like 5, when, you're taking the field trips. I don't even know, do they do those type of field trips now? I assume they do. I did like McDonald's, Burger King, probably a firehouse.
Well, for a short time, a couple years, this whole area was rethemed for the Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom game. Mm-hmm. So it kind of took away. It used to be a shop, remember? There was a shop for a while. You were able to buy merchandise. Fire engine
I remember that
shirts
now.
and things in here. So now it's truly...
That was a long time.
It's truly a fire station.
Is it? Because it has the dogs.
And it has the fire truck,
now that it
too.
has the dogs
it has the fire truck in there, so you can see it up close.
And, of course, you have real patches from firehouses around the country. I don't know about around the world. But they even have a poster about that, and we've taken a look at those before, although I haven't in quite some time.
And we're about to take a look at that poster that'll explain it. Patches collected from heroes around the world. So
I have to look again.
So back to the pumpkins. You took this picture. I didn't even see that. Where was that one?
It's on this side to your right. Your right.
Okay.
So there's pumpkins sometimes where you don't expect them to be. The one reminds me of a cat. There's one that's a snowman. Pumpkin.
There he is.
And
I love the snowman
I never
pumpkin.
noticed they look like little candy corns.
Oh yeah, I never noticed that either.
This is the first time I've ever noticed that.
And now you're looking at the former Main Street Cinema marquee, and above you see this pumpkin. It has a little film strip with hidden Mickeys in there. It's very nice.
And it's actually used to be a cinema, just like if you go to
Disneyland,
they still have theirs. So we have Charlie Ridgway. That's his window, and several pumpkins. These always remind me of the ones we just saw of the Wizard of Oz.
Yes.
There is
Skellington Key.
That's what I call it. It reminds me of Jack Skellington
It's a
and Skellington Key. And so, of course, then you have like a spider. There's an engagement ring on top of Uptown Jewelers to match the location. And then I don't know if we're heading down. Oh no, we're
The
not
House
going
of,
to.
House of Magic.
Yes, not Center Street yet. So you have like cards. So all of these pumpkins here are themed to the location. You've got the crystal ball, and you've got the rabbit coming out of the hat.
It tells a story. And I am old enough to remember going into the magic shop as a kid. I'd buy magic tricks, wands. They have these little rocks that they look like real rocks, but actually you can kind of crush them. They were light as a feather. So you would throw it to your friend and it would look like you're throwing a heavy rock, but it would bounce off them. So the fun you'd have on Main Street USA.
There was a lot of cool shops and such back then. There's a Plaza ice cream parlor. Everything's ice. There's no new pumpkins this year. They're all older pumpkins, but every year we take a look at them. And you've got Casey's Corner, and you have they've got a pumpkin with French fries and a hot dog and a baseball. Like it's all
storytelling.
Yes,
very nice
to the place.
So that is just about it. We're just kind of wrapping up, looking at the rest of the Casey Corner pumpkins. But Halloween is back. It is Halloween at the Magic Kingdom.
Will you stop with the Halloween?
Now, also, when we were there, we decided to meet Merida from Brave because we hadn't seen her. She recently returned to doing meet and greets about a week ago.
There was almost no line, and so it was like, okay, well, especially I can kind of write up a story about meeting her as well.
So here she comes to kind of welcome the short group of us in, and it was really nice. This was a great meet and greet. I remember years ago when this area first opened, it was Rapunzel and Flynn Rider.
And we were there for their last day, which was very emotional. And then Merida came, and I still remember her first days
Merida
here.
By the way, was great. I made the mistake of asking her about Angus, and she warned, do not feed cake to Angus, or anything for that matter. So she was giving me the full story about what happens if you give Angus the wrong type of food. So
I was surprised.
Really great.
I was surprised that the line wasn't longer, and certainly in other times we've seen, I think, I guess probably just don't know yet that she's back. So it was nice having her here.
I remember she would do a thing with bow and arrows.
Yes,
Remember when it first opened?
That's what I was just thinking about.
Like real bow and arrows. So anyway, that was a great encounter with Merida, and we were on our way, and she's warning us one last time: do not feed Angus. Now we're over at Universal. This was a really fun day. We went over to Universal Studios Florida, the original theme park over there, and we wanted to try something different. We're going to try to have a early lunch at Lombard's.
And so Lombard Seafood Grill, and here we are entering.
Yeah, we're just kind of setting the stage. We'll go right into Lombard's.
And they're about to do Halloween as well, the Halloween Horror Nights. Lombard Seafood Grill, we don't go here too often, but every so often like we did last year. And so it's, on the water. We mostly still dine outside. So we were looking for a dining outside experience, and the hostess said we have to come back a half hour later, which we did.
Because the outside wasn't open right away at 11:30.
But what impressed me about it is that she remembered my name when I arrived again, and then she remembered it as I was leaving. It was really a fantastic experience from beginning to end as far as service and the team members who work there.
And it's very beautiful inside, but it's also very beautiful outside. We had the balcony to ourselves. What a view. I mean, to be able to relax, and you hear the various music and various noises from around the park, but not loud or anything, just kind of in the background, and just to look out at this view. It was very peaceful and very nice.
It was a little warm. There's no fans here. This is really more of a September, October, November type of place, I think. But a lot of times we're still dining outside, so it was such a great view.
Yeah, and we didn't really have any big fancy meal. We just had some nice comfort.
Well, I had a burger.
That's what I'm saying. I had a lobster roll. But we had a refreshing beer here.
They specialize in seafood. But they have other items also, like a filet, and they used to have filet tips, and it was less expensive. So I just ended up going with a burger. They didn't have unsweetened iced tea at first. So I was like, okay, twist my arm, I'll get a wine, a rosé. And then she brought me some unsweetened iced tea.
You got a double header. And I want to mention that beer was a Blue Moon, by the way. So and we had a salad, nice Caesar salad, huge croutons.
Yeah, just like Pim Kitchen at Disneyland Paris, which I'm looking forward to next month. That's what I was like, oh my gosh, those are huge. So, but anyway, you can see again our view. Like it really is. It's almost a panoramic view because you can see Wizarding World and then still around and around. It's such a big balcony. So you had the lobster roll.
I had the lobster roll with the house-made chips, which were very good. Now, the lobster roll, you can't really compare it to what you'd get at the boathouse. It's not quite up to the boathouse.
Because that's your favorite lobster roll.
That is an amazing. But this was actually very good. And it was, it's nice to have a little bit of a different style of lobster roll, different type of setting. Mm-hmm. So, and your burger, how was your burger?
It was decent. It was a little dry. It's a pretty much an average burger. I like the fries. I like the bacon. Average. It was big. I split it in half, and then you ate it like the next day. So again, the big thing here was the service. The team members and the view and everything. So like if I had the burger inside, I think I would have been a little disappointed. But because we had such a fantastic experience,
right. And we'll have to We'll have to come back and dive deeper into the menu and check it out a little bit further. And we already had our dessert, by the way, before we came here. We split a butterbeer.
Right, a frozen butterbeer.
That was our dessert before lunch, since we had that extra half an hour.
And I think it was a little early in the day for me for like a filet. I was just not in quite.
You've had their filet before. I think you liked it.
It was like filet medallions at the time, so it was not a lighter meal, but a little bit lighter than having a full filet steak.
And we're just kind of showing a look of where we are. We are over here in the right-hand corner, and this is from across the way. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of show that balcony. I didn't even know it existed.
I didn't know. I will always ask for it. The last time when we ate here, we dined outside downstairs. Not a good view. We were just like in a corner, but it was great because it was, early on and everything. And they really did a nice job accommodating us.
So now we're at a different studios park. We're at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Hadn't been there for a while. We rope dropped it. You could see it was quite the crowd to get in. But even though it looks very crowded, everything moved along pretty quickly.
And we had not been to Disney's Hollywood Studios in a while. We spend a lot of time at Epcot.
Yes,
that is where I tend to spend time. And then also Magic Kingdom probably for number 2. And the other 2 parks kind of take a back seat, unfortunately. But every so often we head on over here and really had a very nice day.
Well, we went straight to Toy Story Mania. No. Toy Story Land, because we wanted to go on Toy Story Midway Mania. That's the tongue twister.
Well, I didn't want to go on Toy Story Midway Mania.
I guess they just call it Toy Story Mania.
I'm so used to still Midway. We wanted to see the shop.
Right.
But you can actually get in the shop without going on the ride.
We didn't know that at the time.
I'm glad we went on the ride.
Yeah, it was great. I enjoyed the ride. And it is Jessie's Trading Post new shop here at the exit of Toy Story Mania.
It is not a Toy Story Land shop. Like, you're not going to buy Toy Story Land merchandise here. You're going to buy Toy Story themed merchandise here. So, like, you won't have something that says Toy Story Land, at least not when we were there.
They did have the little toy roller coaster there, which I thought was the Slinky Dog. I'd never even seen that. It was like a model, not a model, like an actual, So that was very interesting. But you're right, there were items that just said Toy Story Land.
Right. So, anyway, you're looking at the ceiling, which has Jessie and Bullseye. I thought that was really cool. I think it's really a nicely designed store. And then they have the merchandise areas. Oh, there's socks. The various areas will say, like, this says Andy on it. This one, Buckaroo Bits and I don't even know what that means. So, and then you have a variety of different merchandise items, but some places say like Jessie, and you'll show that.
Yeah, I'm going to show all of that, right.
And such. So,
and there's a little hidden Mickey in the jar, and we're about to pan over. I think this is the checkout area, which is also, what is that?
It's
that's
like
sort
a
of
cash register,
like a register
to
This is very interesting here. The refreshments. It's actually just a refrigerator, but they have it looking like you would be able to buy a drink and it would come out, and you have eggs and fruit. It's very nice.
I don't think I really focused on that at all, so I should have taken a couple more pictures of it. So as you walk in, you've got this, it looks like Lincoln Logs. And then there is Socks. I love Socks the
Yeah,
cat
because
from
I know
Buzz,
I'm not.
from the Lightyear
I'm
film.
not focusing on the merchandise, but I left in a few things. You could see the full video tour, including all the merchandise. We'll link to that.
Socks was like the hit of
Yes.
Lightyear.
Yes.
I thought.
Here's what you were talking about. Here is like the Jessie section, and then you have the
Buzz.
Buzz, and I think there's another one coming up here. Oh yeah, Slinky Dog. That's right. And under here, I'm not going to show it now, but under here is the Slinky Dog roller coaster.
But
toy.
like not now with Rex, this is different. But not all of the areas. They're not exactly like not everything might have Jessie under Jessie, which I thought was unusual. But anyway, we're walking out, and there is, Woody saying "See you later," but there was not a sign to come in this way, but you can.
Yeah, they did
Not
say
at all.
you're allowed to if you
Right.
happen to know.
But
it was a
you
nice
have to
addition,
know.
a very nice addition to the land. And now we're over at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. It was great to see the Stormtroopers back out patrolling.
We have not been here to see the roaming characters since that restarted, which wasn't too long ago. So it was nice to see that again.
This is the best character, though. When you see the Ronto man, you know goodness is coming. And this was very early. Again, we had rope dropped it, so I wasn't able to get my normal Ronto wrap, but I was able to get the breakfast Ronto wrap.
And you weren't sure that you even wanted to do that, but you were like, what am I going to get? So I was like, I might be able to find something, and I did.
Look at that nice, healthy item
I
Denise
know, look
gets. My breakfast Ronto wrap.
The Ronto morning wrap
Not
with
exactly
eggs.
the healthiest of meals.
Grilled
It was
pork.
delicious. I have to say it was absolutely delicious. I'm a big fan. I do prefer the Ronto wrap itself, the original.
But my Rising Moon overnight oats, I have not had before with the dragon fruit. It had tons of those little popping bobas and yogurt and seasonal fruit. Was really good. That was really good, and I highly recommend it. It's
I
I
would get
yes,
that.
It was a decent sized portion. Like now, I want to go back in the morning just to have that because it was so good.
And as we were walking around checking out the studios, we noticed that Goofy was here on the balcony of the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, and soon he's going to be joined by Max, which was a nice surprise.
And they were welcoming guests as they walked into the Tower of Terror. I didn't know they were still doing this. We have not seen, I mean, whenever I've been over here when we visited, I have not seen out
sightings.
there.
There are still sightings at all the parks. They have sightings.
But the guests are walking past them, so it's a sighting, but it's also their
double-sided, yeah, because if you're going on the ride, they can wave to you that way, or they could wave down. Now, most of the time they were waving towards the guests going on the ride, so I'm only showing when they would wave down to the crowd.
And I thought that was, very nice. A lot of guests really enjoyed this, and then we saw them. I'm sure you'll show that coming down the steps.
Well, I like how Goofy is in his vacation Hawaiian shirt there, very very summer-like.
But
for Goofy.
Max didn't get the memo. He's not.
Well, Max is always very fashionably dressed,
Yes.
but I like the Hawaiian shirt.
Is that fashionable? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
the red shirt.
If you're in the 80s, perhaps, or the 90s, but I like it anyway. So it was great, as you said. It was nice to see them out. And after this, we decided to make our way out of the park. But as we were leaving, we happened to see the Pixar Pals motorcade coming by.
Well, it's nice that Disney's Hollywood Studios still has motorcades and such. I think they're really a fan favorite in the parks. Epcot doesn't have that anymore.
Right.
So I'm glad that they still have that here. Who was missing? I'm trying to remember. Sully, right. So, yeah. Sully was probably meeting over at Walt Disney Presents.
And here we see Edna Mode in her Edna Mode mobile.
And she used to meet also in the park. So I hope that she will return to do that as well. So we have the Green Army Men. We have Woody, Jessie, and Buzz Lightyear for the Toy Story contingent there.
That's right. And especially Buzz Lightyear, that was sort of his time because his movie had just come out around this time, and everybody was very excited to see Buzz. Lightyear, that's right.
and the live, essentially, not live action, but, human form Buzz Lightyear has met at Disneyland. I think still is meeting.
No, he is done.
Is he done?
He is totally done.
But they still had Buzz in his toy form as well.
That's right. I just found out though. I was just reading.
I know
about, he has ended his run at Disneyland.
I know he was out very recently.
So now it's time to talk about Enzo's Hideaway.
And we were invited to Enzos Hideaway and Tunnel Bar they have something called the Sunday Supper, which they have not had in a couple of years, as well as Smuggler Series, which is coming up in, I think around August 16th for the first one. That's a specially ticketed event. I am looking forward. I want to go now to Sunday supper because I had never done that before, and we were just previewing it. They had invited us to preview.
It was a heck of a preview.
Oh my word. The food was fantastic, and the drinks for the Smuggler series that we had was fantastic.
Here's the full menu, except the dessert will not really be the holy cannoli, but everything else it'll be the same.
Right, and the Smuggler series, yes, it begins August 16th, and so this is from the Smuggler series, like that maple old fashioned.
So good.
Oh my gosh.
Unbelievable.
And I don't care for bourbon really, but to have it with the maple flavor was excellent. And between the three, they packed a punch.
All
I will
three
say that.
very, very solid. I mean, what a way to start the evening right there.
I'll say the Patina group, which this is part of, really does a great job with events. Like the Edison does events and Morimoto does events. And I really do recommend that. We have here some bread, which was, they'd have good bread over there, and so they have this, it's like a charcuterie board, the salami e formaggi, and then various meats and cheeses, and
everything was delicious. I had multiple helpings of this.
I don't eat this type of meat or cheese, so that
But
was you. And I
had
had
quite a bit of the salad.
I had a ton of the salad. Yes, I did. With the mixed organic greens and cucumbers, and they have like a balsamic vinaigrette. I thought it was very nice. It's nothing, fancy, but very
nice,
very
refreshing
nice
salad.
Yes.
Oh, now we're looking at some of the heavy hitters. The main courses here. I think this is the chicken.
Right. It's a lemon oregano roasted chicken with broccolini, creamy polenta, and salsa verde. They also have, there's meatballs here. There was rigatoni.
Sausage up there.
Oh my gosh. And
so much. Oh boy.
it doesn't mean that it would be exactly this each time for Sunday supper. Sunday supper, I think it's like a flat rate meal, and it's going to start this fall again. But the food was fantastic.
It was out of this world.
And I would not say it if that wasn't true. And they brought a sangria as well, which was really good and homemade.
And there was two different types. There was the white and they had the red sangria. Both were great.
I liked the white one better.
Holy cannoli!
And this is going to be, it's not here yet. They're not. They don't have it on the menu yet. It's going to be something sort of like the kitchen sink at Beaches and Cream.
It reminded me of that.
And so you got the cannoli pieces and house-made gelato.
Bananas.
Right. It's like a
whipped cream.
Cannoli, banana split with gelato. And it was really
Delicious.
a big hit. Everything was a big hit at the table. But especially for dessert, if you have, like, let's say you have a family of 3 or 4, and even then you're probably not going to finish it because we didn't all finish it. But it is going to be I think, a big hit.
Yeah, it was wonderful. I can't wait. I will definitely go back. We'll be back. You said it starts in the fall. I saw pumpkins at the Magic Kingdom.
Yes,
that means the fall is here. So hopefully that will begin very soon. I can't wait.
I enjoyed the meal so much that I definitely want to go back for that.
And now we are at Epcot, and of course the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival is still going on.
Yeah, and for another 3.5 months.
You can see the flower quilt has been removed, and we have the grass now coming in for the fall.
Yeah, for the fall. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they add anything in there because it looks so. We had it for so long with the flowers and everything for like 4.5 months. So there's Monorail Red going by. It was a beautiful day when we went. It's been so warm, but I think the whole country right now is, in the 90s pretty much or more.
And we try to get to the parks early and get out before the intense superheat happens. And you could see a new paint job here on one of these, the boats, the Friendship boats.
And I had read that it's similar to when early Epcot, although I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I kind of prefer, even if it was harkening back, I prefer the pastels to the deep red.
And we have Pooh here, still entertaining. You talked about the characters and about the sightings. Well, Pooh is a sighting.
Well, Pooh has been for over 2 years now looking for butterflies. I don't know what Pooh will do with the butterflies, but I don't know that he's ever caught one anyway.
Well, he actually must have been practicing his baton twirling because he does a great job with the net, but not so good with actually getting the butterflies. And this is an area where the butterfly tent usually is. You would think there'd be plenty of butterflies lingering around.
I wish that they had a little more sightings. I like that they have the meet and greets, but I think guests also love the sightings to be able to walk past and get to see some of their favorite characters.
So now we have a very important and special character who has returned the talking trash can. And I'm going to stop talking myself so everyone can listen in and hear the talking trash can at Epcot.
Cool. Thank you. Hey, it's mine! It's mine! It's mine!
Ouch! Hey, watch it, dude, like your trash just knocked off my shades! Hey, dude, like your trash is totally awesome!
Not!
This is my lucky day. French fries.
So this was very nice to see. If you remember, he was last spotted at the electric umbrella. So we would see this outside of the electric umbrella, not to be confused with Push, the talking trash can, who would actually, move around the park. So this is not actually Push, but a distant relative, let's say.
Is it? So, okay, while we were at Epcot, we were actually looking for Jack and Sally, and we had kind of given up. We were about to leave, and I ran into the bathroom, headed out, and then I was like, oh, Grille is here. And I told, I sent you that message.
And I was off fooling around with the talking trash can, getting video of that. So I ran over from the Odyssey just in time. Well, I walked at a brisk,
so
walked as quick as possible for 96 degrees.
And, I was by myself, so... yeah, it was really nice to, it was a surprise because it was time to go, and Grille was out and she was great, and she will be at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
I give her a lot of credit for wearing that coat on this day.
I was like, you must be hot in that coat.
And this, by the way, I did make it in time to wave goodbye to her and see her before she left. So just made it in the nick of time. So anyway, that is another show.
That's another show. Thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Check them out. Head to their website. You can get a no obligation quote, and they'll get back to you. So they've been in business almost 20 years now.
And next week we'll have full coverage, or whatever coverage we can do, of the very first Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And we're also going to the second Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which are both sold out, by the way.
So we might end up with two shows depending on,
how quick we can put it together.
Right. Not only that, but, what is going on with the party as far as the meet and greets, as far as the merchandise, like whatever we can talk about, if it will make up two shows. But hopefully we'll have a show by Monday on the first party.
That's right. So anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.
Happy Halloween!
Yeah.